Hi friends, welcome to Eco Engineer YouTube channel. Today we discuss about integration with Western knowledge system. Here difference between the Indian knowledge system and Western scientific knowledge system. Here indigenous is also known as a traditional knowledge system or Western knowledge scientific knowledge system. Here qualitative in Indian knowledge system is quantitative in Western knowledge system. Here indicative in Indian knowledge system and rational in Western knowledge system. Here Indian knowledge system is holistic in nature. Here Western knowledge system is reductionist process. Here indigenous knowledges are moral and spiritual. Western scientific knowledge are suspensely value free. And indigenous knowledge systems are considered mind and matter together. Here Western scientific knowledge are mechanist. Here modern Indian indigenous knowledge are based on empirical observation. Western scientific knowledge is based on experimentation and systemization. Here indigenous knowledge systems are generated and held by the users and themselves. Here Western scientific knowledge are generated by the specialists. Here indigenous knowledge system diachromatic long time series of information on one locality. Here Western scientific knowledge system are synchronic short term series over a large area. This is the difference between indigenous knowledge system or traditional knowledge system and versus Western knowledge system or scientific knowledge system. Here, the categories are like this is the categories in both the indigenous knowledge system and Western knowledge system. What are the characteristics? How to behave in indigenous knowledge system and how to behave in Western knowledge system? The first category is the mode of thinking. What is thinking in the indigenous knowledge system? Here, intuitive and holistic in nature. In Western knowledge system, the mode of thinking is analytic and segmented. And category 2 is mode of learning. The mode of learning in indigenous people, storytelling and observation, whereas a Western culture, academic and experimental. The third category, characteristics. Characteristics in indigenous people, indigenous knowledge is subjective and spiritual, whereas Western culture, objective and reductionist. Here, the fourth category is data creation. How to data create in indigenous knowledge, slow and inclusive, and the Western knowledge, fast and selective. The fifth category, production and abilities. What are the production and abilities to take care in indigenous people are vague and cycle. Whereas Western culture, accurate and linear. The sixth category, classification system. How to classify in indigenous knowledge is ecological and interconnected, whereas the Western culture is genetic and hierarchical. The seventh principle belief is category is the principle belief, which belief how indigenous people are economic belief and anthropocentric is a Western culture belief. The seventh, eighth category, the management system. The management system in indigenous knowledge is decentralized authority. Is Western knowledge centralized authority. The ninth category, approach to healing. Here, healing in indigenous knowledge focused on understanding the cause of the illness, consider role of community and environment. Western knowledge focus is on treating symptoms of the lines, patients and family history. The health history, how to see in health history, consider role of community and environment. Here Western culture, patient and family history. The category 11, health diagnostic. Here indigenous knowledge are intuitive and Western knowledge are intellectual. The health authority in indigenous knowledge, traditional heals in a advancer with consciousness of family and community. The intellectual physician is a primary authority. Here, these are some of the other categories in traditional knowledge system and Western knowledge system. What is the basic differences between these categories? Here, the knowledge in Indian traditional knowledge system, the knowledge is necessary for several and both physical and spiritual The Western culture, the use for survival and gaining food supplies, health and hygiene, the medical advances, the national security, economic progresses. The nature category, the second category is nature, most knowledgeable but often mysterious and unknowable interference of all living and non-living things. All entities are embedded with spirit. Western science, ultimately knowledgeable with ongoing research, nature is neither good nor bad. Here category thought intellectual goals in indigenous knowledge system, seeking harmonism and coexistence of knowledge and mystery, especially spiritual forces, existence of multiple truths. Here Western science, interrogation of mystery by describing and explaining, exploring, discovering, and creating and exploiting for benefit of humans. Fundamental values. Fourth category is fundamental values in indigenous knowledge, establishing harmony between humans, nature, and spirits, respect and equality of all, participation of the common good, and communication united. Establishing power and domain over the nature of the use of mankind, knowledge for its own sake. Survival of the fittest, winner takes all individualism. Types of knowledges in indigenous knowledge system: oral knowledge involving appropriate living transmitted intergenerationally in the form of stories, riddles, games, songs, dance, rituals, and ceremonies, dreams, and institutions. Here, Western science documented knowledge in libraries, texts, publications, as well as digitally involving principles, laws, and theories and axioms, the conceptual systems, concepts, the facts, the modes, and representation graphs, pictures, etc. Here, category 7 is validity. Here, the sixth property is validity. Here, the indigenous college system, the validity is a content and a phase validity, historic validity, and conscious decisions. The Western science, content, phase validity, and predictivity validity, and concurrent validity, and a construct validity. A general transparency of knowledge, the descriptions of natural and non-natural, spiritual, world, and videistic and holistic. In the Western science system, explanations and predictions concerning natural world, duality, and objective. Yeah, we have to see Western culture and traditional culture. This is in common ground. Between them, traditional knowledge and Western knowledge. These are the common. What are the common have to seen there? The common ground between the traditional and Westerns are the organizing principles. Universal is undefined. The second one is the body of knowledge stable but subject to modification, habits of mind, honest and equanimous and perseverance and open-mindedness, skills and processes, pattern recognition, verification through the repetitions, and empirical observation in natural settings, interference and predictions, and first knowledge, plants, animals and ecosystems, and properties of objects and matters, position and motion of objects, cycles and connections of changes in earth systems. Traditional negative knowledge, here holistic, includes physical and metaphysical world linked to moral code. Here empathize on practical explication of skills and knowledge, trust of inherent wisdom, respect for all the things, particularly experimentation and local verification, and the fifth property is qualitative oral record and communication of matter or story connected to life values and proper behavior, integrated and applied to daily living and traditional subsistence practices. Western science, far too whole, limited to evidence and explanation within the physical world. Emphasis is understanding mechanism. Skepticism. Control experimentation to falsify hypotheses, global verification, quantitative written record, communication of procedures, evidences and theory, discipline based micro and macro theory, atomic theory, plate techniques, mathematical models in Western science. In traditional science, the common ground between traditional and Western science is organization principles, habits of mind, skills and procedures, knowledge. That's it. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you.